considers our fuel leak detection system obsolete and non-compatible and non-compliant. Now, technically, it is compliant. With our system, you are required to do an additional test every year. That apparently wasn't happening. That has happened, so we are in compliance. So that's all done, and it passed, and everything was fine. But the fuel monitoring system is an issue for them. So it is a $24,000 repair to replace that system with what they want. What they want, there is no question that it's compliant. The one that we have, there is some question on whether or not it's supposed to be being used with aviation fuel, which is what their issue is. They're interpreting things as required, but when you get the information from the manufacturers, it says can be. So it's my experience, you just don't want to fight with them. So as a result, on Monday night, on the 1st, I have a $35,000 supplemental appropriation going to council to address this issue. Like I said, the estimate is $24,000 to conduct the repair, but they hedged the estimate a little bit, saying if they find any contaminated soil or anything like that, you know, they got to clean that up too, so, which is why I'm putting the buffer in there of the $11,000. If it comes in at 24, that's what it costs. It's 24, and we're done. Assuming it passes on Monday night, on Tuesday the contract will be signed with the contractor. They're going to come out within the next couple of weeks, conduct the repair. Will be in compliance by June 1st. Everything's hunky-dory. There will be some activity around the fuel island because we will have to cut some concrete and jackhammer some stuff up to make one of the repairs. There's a plastic conduit that needs to be rigid, metal conduit, so we have to remove the concrete in order to dig up the conduit to replace that section. No big deal. The fuel islands will remain open during the project because literally it's just right there that it needs to happen, and it's not near the pumps. So that item's going to council on the 1st. If you guys would like to weigh in on whether or not you think I'm insane by doing it.
Okay, so this is just making the system compliant. It is not bringing it up above ground.
No, it is not elevating tanks or anything else.
Because I know that was their preference way back.
Yeah, well, that's my preference too. But all this does is change out the system.
Correct. On
the fuel leak monitoring. So nothing's being moved, just sensors are being replaced, wires are being run, and the sensor. And the main issue is our sensor doesn't kill the pumps.
Okay.
And the one they want, if there's a leak, it's going to kill the pump.
That's it. That's the whole issue.
That's the main issue. There's some argument about whether or not the sensor type is supposed to be used with avgas or whether it's allowed to be used with avgas. Manufacturer says it is. Water board says it isn't. So I'm just taking the water board's view of things and moving forward.
How come the water board got involved in this in the first place?
The water board got involved apparently throughout our county because they were not confident, according to the health department, they were not confident with the inspections that the health department has been performing. I will note that we have years and years and years of inspections by our health department saying our system is wonderful and everything's great.
And what's the alternative?
The alternative? We have to do that additional test every year. At some point, we're going to become non-compliant, and unless we do it, there will be no more gas being pumped out of the ground.
And the alternative with the above ground is?
Above ground tanks as a huge project in the $500,000 to $750,000 range. And that is actually what I'd like to use the CAL FIRE area for.
So from
Because
Cal
they
Fire-
already have secondary containment built into that whole area. So once CAL FIRE moves, the intention is to move the fuel trucks and the fueling operations over into that area where the whole area is designed to be contained. We have to do a little bit of plumbing, but we have our secondary containment site already, and the airport's totally golden when it comes to the water board, where no fuel has any chance of getting anywhere. Currently, we're kind of in jeopardy in a couple places.
And who pays for that?
Pays for,
When Cal Fire moves and that becomes the fuel island or whatever?
the airport will, and it's not going to be a huge, well, the fuel tanks and all that we will probably wind up paying for or doing something, and then we'll have to have a lease back or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. The fuel tanks, tankers, that change isn't going to be a ton of money, but maybe we have a parking fee over there, a small parking fee to recoup that money or something.
Okay.
I'll worry about that once we get them moved.
Okay, this is not an action item, right?
Well, if you'd like to weigh in, I'll let the council know whether you think the supplemental appropriation is a good idea or not.
Well, it's almost a necessity. I don't know what,
Yeah.
that's why I was asking if the alternative.
Yeah, what were those numbers again?
Several million?
$24,000 is the estimate for the repair. I am asking for $35,000 in case there's a problem.
And this is just to change the sensor?
Change about 11 sensors, a computer, and some wiring and conduit.
And they're gonna have to do some jackhammering to do this?
This is correct.
Probably do more harm than good.
Yeah, and that's assuming they don't find any
Whatever.
contaminated soil.
Or a broken this or that or whatever else.
Okay.
Okay, does the commission want to chime in or leave it as is? Leave it to staff?
I think that,
Report back what.
I think that's right, yeah, unless we go to the May 1 meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to. Okay, new business. No new business. Items for the next agenda? So we want to go right down the line? What,
A, C, D, G, A, B, C.
okay, under new items that would like to be added to it?
About the person from Cal Pilots who is working to get more funding from other counties and cities that are using our Cal Fire. What's the name?
Ford.
Ford, yeah.
An update on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything?
Yes.
How many did she speak to?
Is there any
We
other,
have spoken to 3.
any other items? No. Okay. The next meeting is May the 24th.
Correct.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Did Fred second?
Yes. Okay. Meeting adjourned.